Hi guys, was out DSing yesterday and unfortunately I had a unexpected landing with my RPM. This is a glass RPM, it's not a carbon one. Flying weight of around 1.8 kg, or it is 1.8 kg. And when I walked up to it, it was it was buried right up to here in the dirt, covered in grass, and I had no ailerons or flaps were working on the model. But when I had a look at the wiring, it had hit that hard that these had pulled forward and unplugged themselves. So it just shows you how hard it actually hit. It also has cracked the underneath here. There are carbon toes running through, so it's cracked it down to where the carbon toes are on both sides. So I'll have a look and see what it's like when I take the wing off and see what actually damages in there. And the other thing is it's popped the back of the towel open and put a little crack through here, so I guess that it obviously got towel slapped quite badly. And this went in at around about 130 miles an hour, so, and it did land flat, so I think I got away quite lightly with this. There's no real structural damage. I did notice that has broken a control horn on the flap, and then I noticed that it was sitting up a little bit. So if you have a look, it's separated from the drag spar. It's still attached to the main spar. The skin's still attached to the main spar, but it has separated from the drag spar. Again, this is going to be quite an easy fix. You know, I can pull these right down and pipe some very thin glue along that drag spar and just lightly cramp it back together, and that will fix that. So let's have a look and see what's happening inside the fuse. Okay, I've taken the towel and the wing off, and I've noticed that my control rod there is incredibly bent. So I reckon it's had quite a bit of quite a bit of stress put through that towel. You know, apart from the crack there, the main spar that runs down through here is intact, and it's just split the back of the of it open. But you know, they're easy fixes. This was cracked through here, and I have been putting a bit of pressure on it. I did actually break it, but the thing is, it's still intact, and you know, just to grind a bit of material off there and wrap a bit of carbon around there and on the inside, it's actually quite an easy. I've already started the repair on the RPM. That crack that was through the back of the towel there, I scalloped that area out and then started putting little pieces of carbon in there and started getting bigger and bigger until it overlapped the scallop, and I'll sand all that back and repaint it. That should be fine. On the towel, I taped it together first, and because it's open there, I poured some resin down there and let it run all the way down to the bottom of the towel to glue that back together. So that's all good now. And the fuse, I got some carbon and have laid it, scuffed all this up with 40 grit sandpaper and then laid carbon in there and last night, and that's all gone off. So oh, and yeah, I mixed up when I had my resin to do the fuse. I mixed it a little bit of glue powder in there, but the mixture was still quite runny. I managed to open it up with a small brush. I painted all the drag spar, and I've got all that cramped back together, and that should have that will have fixed that now. So that's the wing fixed, and the fuse is well on the way of being fixed, and that was only about an hour's work last night. Side, I've hollowed that out so that it tapers down to the carbon that I laid in there last night, and then back up again. I've got some strips of carbon there. It's 10 strips there. I know that 5 strips is a mil, so 10 strips is a couple of mil, and that's about as much as what I've scalloped it out there. So I'm going to start with my smaller pieces and run them through the center. I'll then slowly put the bigger ones on until I get my last one that will cover the whole lot. So when I sand all that back down, I'm going to have multiple layers going down to where the crack was, and that should give me a really good repair, especially if it when you bond it to the piece that you've already put on the inside. I've got all my carbon fibre on there now. I did that first thing this morning. It's now 12:30, and it's about 34 degrees C in here, so it dried real quick. I did stick it out in the sun for a while. That did help. I ground that one all back, and I actually went over it with a bit of 40 grit sandpaper. That's all ready now for a bit of filler just to smooth the top surface out. But that repair's come up really well. The towel is now super stiff again. We'll get back to that one. So we'll sand this back. Now that's all sanded back. It's all flush with each side, but you know there's a lot of strength there because it's scalloped down then back up. So the carbon fibre, it's like scarfing the carbon fibre onto the edges of the fuse. So I know I've got plenty of structural soundness there. Plus I've got the carbon on the inside, which that there is actually stuck to it as well. So now I've just got to try and make it look pretty again. I've put my wing back onto the fuse. I got some tape on there, so when I bog those little chips up, they're not going to stick to the wing. Just made myself a little round, which I'll push the bog into that area. So yeah, here we go. Well, that's all bogged up now. I did have some left over, so I did smear it back over the carbon again just to smooth it off a little bit more. Just pulled the wing off, and these are all filled up now. They're all nice and flat with the top. Just got to do a little bit of sanding through here, and that'll be all the bogging I need to do on this. I just put the last coat of yellow on the fuse. It was white, but since I've got a yellow strip going through the centre of the wing, I decided I'll change the colour. I was going to have to repaint the whole thing anyway, but there's the towel. It's all repaired and done. Yeah, and that's this side of the fuse. This is the other side. You can't really see it that well, it's in shadow, but you know, there is a few little marks in it, but that's okay. At least it lives to crash again.